Hello and welcome to the second episode of FunRover TV, the Land Rover show that helps you in the daily running, maintaining and upgrading of your Land Rover. And we're kind of following on from the last episode because today we're going to be talking all about the basic equipment, parts, spares, the things that you really need to take with you when you are perhaps just green laning or doing your day-to-day business in your trusty old Land Rover. Okay, let's have a look and see what you should have in your Land Rover. Now you'll notice we don't have very much in the back of our Land Rover. We've got our toolbox, spade and an axe. We'll talk about why we've got each thing as we get round to it. So let's grab our useful box, which we're using as per the last episode. So the first thing we've got, and we're going to stick with this category for a little while, is a safety triangle. This is actually a requirement now if you're travelling in France or anywhere like that. It's actually required by European law. So we've got one of those just very cheap, very basic triangles. Next, we've got two other important safety pieces. We've got this IVA Jacket, again, very cheap, you can buy them anywhere. Required in some countries by law if you break down. And if you are doing any heavy recovery or any kind of winching, a nice pair of work gloves, they always help if you're digging or just dealing with, you know, strops and stuff like that. These are a great thing to have. We've also got one of these, fire extinguisher, which will work on electrical fires. It's a dry chemical one and suited very well to just having in your car. You can tie it down to your bulkhead. Here we've got my dry bag that I bought, completely waterproof when you fasten them up, and they make a great place to store straps. Speaking of which, we've got our straps. Now I fasten all mine together with bungee cords because it just makes them a lot neater and easier to store. This one is actually 5 meters in length, so it would be quite big if I just put it in my box. So I've got my strops, which allow me to do not self-recovery, but obviously I can tow cars. I have done quite a lot of towing with these. Just be careful with them, making sure that they're always in good condition, they don't get snagged. I always make sure I've got some appropriate recovery shackles to go along with my straps. Next up, we have some battery jump leads. These are incredibly useful. I've used these quite a lot in just a few years. They're very compact and they're an absolute must-have if you're doing any sort of travelling. I think any car should have one of these. A couple of other bits and bobs. I always carry a head torch because, you know, you might get stuck at night, and this is great for being able to work under your car. Even during the day it can be pretty dark, so a head torch is always a great little device to have. For a full list of spares that you should carry, visit funrover.com/guides/spares or click the link below. A roll of gaffer tape, because you can repair pretty much anything with this, and if you can't, then you can always bodge something up and make a temporary repair until you can get to somewhere where you can carry out a complete and total repair. It is possible to carry a good complement of tools with you as well. So you want things like a basic socket wrench. We have 17, 19, 13, 10 and 8mm sockets with us. They're the most commonly used sizes on Defenders or newer Land Rovers. Set of Allen keys, which most of them are missing. Screwdrivers, big ones, small ones, Phillips heads, what have you, and a matching set of spanners as well. Again, that would be your basic toolkit. Also, we've got a hammer, adjustable wrenches there, always useful, and even circlip pliers, because you never know when a hose might pop off. We also use a lot of ratchet straps. These are brilliant. If you've got a roof rack, then they're probably the only way that you can connect things up to it securely. Also, you can use them to tie down your luggage in your rear. We have some rear luggage tie down loops that help us to do that. Now, if you're not quite sure how to use these, it's very simple. All you need to do, unravel it, you can wrap it around whatever you need to. Now the hooks will actually fit into the roof rack. In most cases they'll fasten on the edges. If you can't do that with them, fasten them to each other. You twist them on, like so, and then you've actually attached the ratchet to itself, and you can then just fasten it round stuff and attach things that way. I'll usually carry around 5 or 6 of them because they're really handy, but you can end up using quite a lot securing loads. Also, in the back of the Land Rover, you should have a good shovel. This one's a Bulldog shovel. These are absolutely fantastic for removing snow and dirt. Very tough. This shape of head's great. It works in most terrain. They're a fantastic piece of equipment to have, and again, extremely cheap. You'll notice that about the stuff we've got. We've also got a hatchet, which will double up as a light hammer on the back, and you can use that if you ever get a lot of forestry or kind of branches and stuff on a green lane that's blocking your path. You can remove it with those. And then last but by no means least, you need to have a jack. That has got to be in your Land Rover. It's something that if you didn't have one, then you're going to get stuck. If you had a blown tyre in a Land Rover, there's no chance you'll be able to get it off. So always have a jack. In 110s, you'll probably usually find the handle underneath the rear or middle seats. If you've got a hard top 110 or a 90, again, it's probably either under the rear seats if it does have any seats in the back, or it'll be affixed to the bulkhead behind the driver. So make sure that you know where your jack is, because you don't want to find out in an emergency that you don't actually have one. Under your passenger side seat, you will find some very important items. If you don't have one of the old Ratchet style Land Rover jacks, you'll find a bottle jack, a wheel brace and a chock. Very important. If you don't have a chock, then you can't jack up a Land Rover. So make sure you've got all those. If you don't have a chock, failing that, you can always use a rock if you can find one. So all of the jacking accessories will be underneath your passenger side seat. I hope you enjoyed this episode of FunRover TV. That was episode 2. There are so many more in the works. We've got lots and lots planned, lots of exciting challenges, all kinds of stuff coming up. But if you can't wait for that, we'll head on over to FunRover.com now. FunRover.com is the free online Land Rover magazine and blog that we've created, and you'll find a whole host of Land Rover related content, really interesting features, things like our really cool paint colour guide. If you're not sure what colour your Land Rover is, well, you can use this guide to find out. Or if you're unsure of what colour you want to paint it, well, you can use this one to pick that right shade of green. Thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you in the next episode of FunRover TV.